So it's not that monetizing your gaming content, your gaming channel through AdSense is a bad idea. I mean, squeeze every penny that you can out of your content, but too many content creators use it as their primary source of income. And what's even worse, there are even more people who use it as their only source of income. And you're really just asking for problems. My name's Tristan Goodwin. I am the owner of a YouTube marketing agency. We did about $31 million in sales last year. And so, I've got a little bit of practice when it comes to making money on YouTube. This is actually a preview of a course that we're putting together on how to make more money from your YouTube gaming content. So if that's something that you're interested in, come join our Discord. It's free. We got some cool stuff going on in there. So without any further ado, this is how to make more money with AdSense for a gaming channel. To be totally honest, AdSense is my least favorite way to monetize YouTube content. Just the amount of money that you make per hour of work is just really, really low, and the partnership program requirements are a little bit annoying, and it can take a long time to build up to that level. And then once you reach that level, you're not really making as much money as you kind of expect to. But I do think that the goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time is a good and a solid place to start for any new YouTuber. And so since a lot of people have this as their primary goal, let's go ahead and talk about how to get the most out of AdSense. The first thing we need to understand is how AdSense actually works. So there are 3 different groups involved in the AdSense ecosystem. There's you, the content creator. There's the advertiser, which are the people who buy the ads on YouTube through AdSense's sister platform called AdWords. And then there's AdSense, which kind of connects the 2 different groups. So whenever an advertiser buys ad space on YouTube through AdWords, they pay based off of the number of views or engagement that their ad actually receives. Non-skippable ads are charged a flat rate, and it's usually around $5 for every 1,000 views. Skippable ads are charged only if the viewer watches more than half the ad, or at least 30 seconds if the video is longer than a minute, or if the viewer actually clicks on the ad. The other 2 types of ads are display ads, which are the little banners or the links that appear below a video, and these are most common and really most effective on mobile devices. And then we have Trueview ads, and these will typically appear on your homepage. They will appear at the top of search, and then they'll also show up at the top of the next up section among the other recommended videos. The cost for these ads tend to vary kind of a lot. So for example, with the Trueview ad, then I typically spend about 7 cents per view. And a display ad can cost me anywhere between 1 cent per click and $50 per click. It just depends on the audience and how competitive the keyword is. For the skippable pre-roll ads, I usually spend between 5 and 15 cents per view. So for example, my main work channel teaches small business owners how to build websites, right? The website builder charges between $120 and $500 per year. The hosting platform charges about $100, $200 a year. And then they'll usually need like some kind of a payment processor, especially if they're going to be accepting payments to the website. So like PayPal charges about 3% per transaction, or Stripe charges about the same. And then they're also going to need a way to drive traffic to the website. So marketing, search engine optimization, paid traffic, consultants, social media, all those different kinds of businesses are going to want to reach those website owners as well because they're potential clients. They may also be interested in some kind of an accounting software in order to kind of make their taxes a little bit easier at the end of the year. They might be interested in some kind of business coach or mentors, and they may even decide to invest in the earnings that they have, and so it kind of just goes on and on. There is a lot of money to be gained by buying ad space on these videos because my audience needs all of those things. And you can kind of identify what kind of pain points, what kind of problems your audience has when you're creating your viewer avatar. We talk about that a lot. That's because it's really important. And it will help you to identify not only the problem that your audience actually has, but it'll also help you to identify other problems and other things that might be valuable to them. Now, everybody wants to buy ads on my videos. And so the ads that actually display on my videos through AdWords is set up as an auction. Whoever's willing to pay the most gets the most and best views until all their budget is spent. And then the next highest bidder gets to go, and then the third highest bidder, and so on. And of course, YouTube wants to put the most expensive ads on your videos because that means that you're going to make more money, but they're also going to make more money as well. Because if you have a very targeted audience, and if someone wants to reach that audience specifically, they're willing to pay more to do it. And so that's one of the reasons that YouTube puts so much effort into understanding who your audience is and who your avatar is, so that way they can display the best ads and get the most money out of it. And of course, that goes for you as well. So whenever YouTube runs an ad on your videos and one of the actions that we talked about before takes place, so just for example, let's say somebody clicks on an ad, the advertiser is then charged, right? So AdSense then takes a percentage of that money that it took from the advertiser and it gives it to you as the content creator, and they keep the rest in order to cover their costs and to make a profit. That split is usually around 60% for you, the creator, and 40% for Google. Now, my average CPM, or how much I get paid per 1,000 views on this channel, is around $25. A gaming channel, like what you see here on the screen, is usually around $5. This channel that we're looking at right now actually has a CPM of $8.47, and it's because they've really dialed in a lot more into who their audience is, and they're able to better define that for YouTube, and so they actually make a little bit more money off of it, which is kind of cool. It's about a 60% increase over the average, so not too shabby. The next question then is, obviously, how do we use this information to maximize the amount that we get paid? Well, the first step is to identify an audience and a problem that you can solve by purchasing a product or service. And the main problem that we solve in gaming is boredom. So, how does a gamer solve boredom? Well, they buy a new game, or they play a video game with somebody else, or they play a DLC, or they go out and they explore a new area, or they try a new character, or they look at a different build, or they want to go through and learn all the secrets, they want to get all the achievements. And there's a lot of different kind of content that we can create that's going to meet the needs of that viewer. So the next question is, what group of gamers in your specific niche is the most likely to actually purchase that product or that service in order to resolve their problem, which of course is boredom. Now, I'm using boredom as an example here, but really there are three main types of problems that we solve on YouTube with YouTube videos. And those are education, or we teach somebody something. Somebody doesn't know how to do something, so we're showing them how to do it. We entertain them by, funny videos, let's plays, and that kind of thing. Or we inspire them. So again, inspiration would be something like, finding all these cool places in a video game, like 5 undiscovered places in Skyrim, or here's how to build this really cool building in Minecraft, or something like that. So we're inspiring them to go and play the game and to try something different, or to do something they haven't done before. So if we talk about these problems that people are wanting to solve, well, we can ask ourselves some questions. How much money do kids spend on like Fortnite skins? Or how many people buy extra lives in Candy Crush? Or how much money have you spent on DLCs or for a live service like Xbox Live, PlayStation, or the Switch one? I can't remember what that one's called. So we are actively spending money on this hobby. We're actively spending money in order to resolve this problem that we have as content creators, as gamers, because we're bored. We want to play something new. We want to play something different. We want to go and try something new. Okay? Now, a lot of these systems will have built-in marketing and monetization systems. So again, Microsoft, you buy the Xbox, you buy the game, you buy the online service, and then you buy DLCs, and you might buy, whatever else in the game, microtransactions. And so typically, if there's money to be made around a game, then advertisers are also going to be trying to reach that same audience and will buy your ad space to do it. And even if there's not anything for that specific game, there may be for that specific type of gamer. So if you're playing something like Skyrim, and like Skyrim's been out for a long time, probably not a lot of new sales going out for Skyrim, but Skyrim 6 or 7 or whatever we're at is getting ready to come out hopefully soon. Or we might have somebody who likes Skyrim, and so it might be a good idea to show them things like Fallout, or it might be a good idea to show them some other kind of similar game, maybe a Kickstarter, maybe a new indie developer, something like that. They're all going to want to still get in front of that audience because they know that that audience has a similar interest as what's being shown on the screen. So even if there's not something directly related or directly monetizable, there's always going to be something to the side of that you can still monetize, or that an advertiser will be interested in purchasing. And again, the more specific that audience is, the more money the advertiser is going to be willing to pay for it. And the reason for that is just because as an advertiser, we want to reach audiences that are going to be the most engaged with our ads. We want to reach the best people who are going to be the most interested in what it is that we have to share or advertising. And so when we do that, obviously, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. We're going to show ads to a lot of people, and only a small fraction of those people are actually going to engage with the ad. And so all the money that we spend on the people who don't engage with the ad, we're losing money. And so if we can find an audience that is more engaged and more likely to convert, to spend money or to sign up or whatever, then we're actually able to spend more money to reach that audience because our conversion rates are going to be higher. And so we're still going to make as much or more money off of it as compared to just doing blanket ads. And those blanket ads are, general ads. So we're talking about things like Doritos and Pizza Hut and Pepsi and Mountain Dew or whatever. They're trying to reach everyone. They have a very broad audience. And because their targeting is so broad, they're able to spend a lot less than highly targeted ad campaigns do. So if we go back to that auction, if there aren't a lot of people who are willing to bid on ad space on your videos, then that budget's going to go through pretty quick. And so YouTube still needs to fill in those spaces. AdSense needs to fill in those spaces. And so they'll start showing more and more general ads to your viewers and to that audience. And again, because it's so broad, they're not making as much money off of it. So they're just going to be spending less money on it because they don't want to waste that money. And so their bids are going to be lower. And that means that you actually get a lower cost per mil or cost per 1,000 views. And that means that you are going to make less money because you're getting a percentage of what it is that they're willing to pay. And that's one of the reasons that so many gaming CPMs are so low as compared to other categories. And vlog channels actually face the same problem. And that's primarily because gamers don't typically niche down very much or specify who that audience actually is. And so you start getting some really random ads, and it becomes difficult to run a very targeted ad campaign. Because if your content's all over the place, if your audience is super mixed, then they can't target that specific group. They can't target that specific audience with their ads. And so your CPMs aren't going to be as high because you're in that broad category instead of being in a specific category or targeted category. And that's one of the other reasons that I suggest incorporating as many sources of revenue as you can into your channels. Just because gaming doesn't make as much money as something like tech reviews or website builders. And real quick, one of the ways that you can tell what kind of an advertiser is wanting to reach that kind of an audience is to look into what kind of sponsorships they get, which can give you really interesting insights into, first, if you see a sponsorship on a video that you're watching, what kind of an audience you might belong to, and then also who might be interested in trying to reach your own audience. That being said, this course is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. At least I think I'm funny. So let's summarize this real quick. The way that we increase our CPMs is by targeting more valuable audiences. Okay? The most valuable audience is going to be different depending on the game that you're playing or the types of games that you play, as well as their specific needs and the things that advertisers are willing to try to sell to them. So do some research, make really good viewer avatars, and focus your content on your viewer and their pain points, and that's how you're going to make more money. Now, before we end this video, there are a couple more things that I think you would really want to know about AdSense. So, number one, AdSense doesn't work just on YouTube. If you run a website, you can connect it to AdSense and it'll also run ads on that platform as well. These are the display ads, which we had talked about before, and they could be another source of income for you and your channel. Second, as everybody here probably already knows, the requirements to join the YouTube Partner Program and have AdSense activated on your channel are that you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, the fastest that I've been able to take a channel from 0 to monetized is 21 days. And I did that by targeting very popular trends and by collaborating with other channels. What I think would be the fastest way to do this today would actually be through YouTube Shorts that generate traffic and gain subscribers for your channel. And then, from the Shorts, send those viewers onto longer videos that very, very closely follow the same kind of content as the short that you created. And it's vital that your content be super engaging, that you design it for that target audience, or it just won't take off. It won't do anything. But if you're able to form that connection, if you're able to speak to that pain point, and if you're able to get that audience to move on to your longer format videos, I picked up 1.5 million views off of a few videos not too long ago, and I went from about 400, 600 subscribers to over 4,000 in the course of like 3 weeks. And so if I could just move 10% of that audience into watching a 10-minute video, we're still talking about 150,000 views, and 150,000 views watching a 10-minute video, that's a lot of minutes, and that's going to make you eligible for the YouTube partnership program. Actually, let me pull up my calculator real quick. So if we have 150,000 views, and if they're watching 10 minutes, and if we divide that by an hour, so yeah, 25,000 hours of watch time off of those views, and that's a pretty fast and easy way to meet those standards. Third, the best way to keep on top of the amount of money that you're actually making from your videos, as well as where to find all the analytics on your monetization, is in your Creator Studio, under Analytics and under the Revenue tab. You can also check your AdSense account, which is the same as your Gmail account and your YouTube account, but the numbers don't update quite as fast and they're not quite as accurate. Fourth, signing up for AdSense is actually really easy. So if you already have a Gmail account, which you need to start a YouTube channel, then you actually already have an AdSense account created for you. Now, the specifics for linking your channel to AdSense, as well as all the required documentation, tends to change fairly often, as different governments have different requirements, and it's kind of a constant flow. So the best resource for any problems that you might have when you are trying to sign up for AdSense is either going to be through Google support forums, or if you can't find anything there, post something in our Discord, and we'll look into it and see what we can do to kind of help with that. Fifth, if you have access to a keyword research tool, and I recommend KW Finder by Mangools, then you can actually see the average cost per click for specific keywords. Now, the cost per click is the amount that an advertiser will pay whenever somebody clicks on their ads in Google. Now, these numbers don't include YouTube ads, but they will at least give you an idea of which keywords are the most valuable in the eyes of the advertiser, and you can create your content around them in order to increase your CPMs and make more money. And sixth, AdSense is notoriously inconsistent. We've had several adpocalypses. We've had channels just get demonetized for no reason because there's a glitch in the system. YouTube might just decide that your video isn't advertiser friendly, and then they won't show any ads on it. And you spend all that time working on content, and you don't actually have a way to monetize it because YouTube, for whatever reason, thinks that it's not advertiser friendly. And then if we start talking about, like, if you have copyrighted music or videos or something like that in your videos, those are other things that will prevent you from monetizing that video through AdSense, and you'll lose out on that money. Or it will go to somebody else. It will go to that copyright holder. And so it's best to protect yourself and your income by, again, using multiple methods of monetization. Even something as simple as a Patreon can actually double or triple your revenue from the exact same audiences, and you don't have to worry about YouTube just being funky. Now, there are a bunch of other videos in this section that talk about different ways of monetizing your content, so make sure to watch those other videos here in this unit and look for the options that are best going to fit your channel and your audience. And again, you can use one of them, you can use two of them, you can use all of them, but be cautious with what you're doing, plan ahead, and remember that AdSense is probably the worst method of monetizing your channel just because of all the funny stuff that we've talked about here. So, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.